Morning, Your Honor. Christine Stifler on behalf of the state. We're here on number 7, Mario Fernandez, and number 8, Shanna Gardner. Next of kin is present on Zoom.
Does anyone know who Giorene Tanner is?
No, ma'am.
All right, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Jesse Dreiser. I represent Mr. Fernandez, along with Mr. Hill, Ms. Day, and Mr. Tassoni, who's present on Zoom.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And I know there's counsel present via Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor. Michelle Medina on behalf of Ms. Gardner, as well as Kirsten Nelson.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name.
Kirsten Nelson, she's also on the line.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, we have discussed with counsel for both teams. The state is planning to proceed with the separate trials as we always had planned, 2 separate juries. We're going to hold the trials back to back instead of simultaneously in looking at the order of proof. It's in the state's interest to do so. So we have cleared that with both teams. They are in agreement. We'll ask the court for a follow-up logistics meeting at some point in the next couple weeks to discuss some ideas we have and finalize scheduling.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, so start from the top because this is different than what we talked about in the other meeting.
Yes, ma'am, and circumstances have changed since that meeting with the co-defendant withdrawing his plea and no longer testifying as a state witness. We believe that we can try Mr. Fernandez's case in about a week and a half, and Ms. Gardner's case in about 2 weeks.
Picking the juries at the same time or not at the same time?
That is the state's hope. I don't believe the defense teams are in agreement with that, so we would plan to pick Mr. Fernandez's jury, try his case, and pick Ms. Gardner's jury at the conclusion of his case, try her case. We discussed with Mr. Dreiser this morning some ideas we have we can float to the other team and discuss with the court about ways to ensure that potential jurors are not exposed to media unnecessarily, either through bringing panels in at the start and releasing them for 2 weeks and ordering them not to view media, or perhaps through summons, some kind of court order in their summons or some instructions in their summonses. But we can discuss that with the teams further and give the court our ideas.
But it will be 2 separate juries.
It's always,
right,
always going to be 2 separate.
Just so that's clear.
Yes.
No, I always thought that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
But
We'll have 2 separate jury selections.
okay. And then Ms. Stifler is saying...
I don't know what that hope stuff about. We had an agreement there's going to be 2 separate jury selections.
Yes, that is the agreement. We have some ideas. We will discuss them amongst each other, and we'd like a meeting with the court.
Okay, can I hear from the attorneys from Ms. Gardner?
Good morning, Your Honor. I wasn't privy to the conversations. I believe Mr. Menashe was in contact with the state with regards to this topic, but it is our understanding, just like Mr. Dreiser indicated, that we would be in agreement with a severance and with 2 separate jury selections right after the conclusion of Mr. Fernandez's trial.
Ms. Menashe did email us acknowledging Ms. Gardner's team's agreement with this plan.
And we were privy to that as well. We were all on the same communication.
Okay, so let me look at my calendar, okay? Mr. Hathaway, so right now we have set aside August 10th for jury selection, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I ask this? So initially, the court schedule was August 10th, jury selection in both cases, and I was going to set aside the entire week Meaning that if you all were able to select a jury earlier, I would still leave the time, meaning break the trial, then start the trial the following week. Is that still y'all's thought?
Yes, Your Honor.
So then the trial of Mr. Fernandez would begin, so the jury selection would be August 10th. His trial would be August 17th through the week of the 24th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you all discuss sealing or non-sealing?
We did not, but I assume it would proceed as a normal trial.
Okay, I'll discuss that matter later, but so as to not impact the second jury, my suggestion would be to seal, and then publish at the same time. And then just summon the other jury when the other case concludes. They wouldn't be sequestered. They'd already reached a verdict. Then I would seal the verdict until the other case concludes, and then I publish both at the same time.
Certainly, we can discuss that. My concern actually was not with the jury being sequestered, and I appreciate that they wouldn't, but my concern is that if Mr. Fernandez is found not guilty, he's staying in custody for an additional 2 or 3 weeks. That does concern me, and I'd like to at least research that and have a more finite discussion on that when we do our logistics meeting. I'm not saying I don't agree, I'm not saying I agree either. I see some concern.
So there's, if you want me to publish, then what I would do is I would set aside more time for Ms. Gardner for jury selection and some more jurors. If you don't want to seal it, I understand your concern. So if you don't want to seal it, then I'd double the amount of Ms. Gardner's jury panel. And then I'd set aside more time to pick her jury because it would take longer.
That's something that we can all consider and let Your Honor know which we prefer.
Well, I'm going to do it now. I'm done with this. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to reserve the time now because my calendar is filling up. When I cleared those dates, I started setting trials. So I don't want to try to scramble around and move trials in other cases. So I'm going to do it now. So this is my thought, okay? So.
That's fine.
What's fine?
That we make the decision now and that we are sticking with our proposal that
Don't seal?
that we don't seal.
All right. It'll just make the second case harder to pick.
I'm sorry.
That's not your fault. I'm just saying, like, I need to logistically plan for that. Like, I can't try to crunch it and then not have enough time. That is a nightmare. It's better to reserve more time and not need it than need the time and not reserve it. So, Mr. Hathaway, stick with me, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
August 10th will be the full week. That is August 10th through August 14th will be the jury selection in the state versus Mario Fernandez, okay? His trial will be scheduled August 17th through August 28th, okay? If you all finish early, okay. I can meet with the Gardner case if need be to handle any issues that may or may not arise, okay? If you don't, then you'll have the time. Then Shanna Gardner's case, and you all, Ms. Medina, speak up, okay, if this is not acceptable. My thought would be that we would schedule her jury selection the entire week, working full days in that case, August 31st through September 4th. It's actually good because September 7th is a holiday, and if we don't finish, I can bring up the court. Normally we would completely be down, but if we needed the extra day, it would be built in. Then I can always bring up, and I could also, if it becomes a true issue, I can work into the weekend. I'll ask the chief judge for that permission, okay? And then, it will be a week. Again, if you all finish early, great, you'll have the time to work. If you don't, then we'll have the weekend into the holiday weekend, okay? And then we would start the trial September 8th. And what's the thought between the parties of how long Ms. Gardner would take? A week, 2 weeks?
I think 2 weeks, yes, Your Honor, until the 18th, if you want to block that off. I have a better sense from the Fernandez team about how long the trial will take than I do from the Gardner team. I will talk to them, and if we need additional time, if they think they're going to need additional time for their case, they can let me know, and we can let the court know.
I can always take. I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Medina.
Yeah, I personally would rather be conservative and ask for 3,
Okay.
just to be safe.
We can,
I can always take it off.
yes, we can book it through the 23rd.
All right, so are you still with me, Mr. Hathaway?
Yes, Your Honor.
So jury selection,
Yeah.
August 31st through the 4th. Gardner's trial, September 8th through September 25th. Okay.
And Your Honor, a number of jurors for each panel?
Give me a second to do some math.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
250 for Mr. Fernandez. Do y'all have any objections to that? I would summon them in 100 panels, like 100 jurors at a time.
That's fine. Certainly don't need more than that.
That's very, I think a conservative estimate. I don't think we'll need that many, but
250.
I'm in agreement.
All right. For Gardner, 500. 100 every single day. So it'd be 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon, 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon until we get a set panel that you all agree to. If we get to the questioning panel, I'd excuse the other ones, okay? So it would be the same plan, meaning we would spend essentially the first days using high publicity hardships only so we can get through the panels. It would be 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon, 50 in the morning until we get to the seated panel. And then those that aren't excused for those reasons would get a questionnaire to fill out before they leave, and then they would be coming back on the day if we get an idea of how many jurors, okay? And I'll work that out at a later date. So 500 for Ms. Gardner, 250 for Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. You want to keep the other dates?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
We have, just for the court's information, we have depositions set. We've taken a couple rounds since our last court date. We have depositions tomorrow, April 13th, April 16th, April 23rd, 24th, 29th, 30th, and May 4th. And then we have a motion deadline this Friday, as well as time set aside the week of May 11th. The 13th, we have Mr. Fernandez's motion set, and I will get with Ms. Schlacks about setting Mr. Tennant's motion that week as well.
Okay.
I've not received the Gardner
Honor.
motions yet.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. We had no indications that there was a motions deadline for this Friday. We had a date for May 4th for evidentiary hearings, but I was having difficulties finding anything written.
No,
It was.
I think it was just verbal agreement, Ms. Medina, so it wasn't anything. Okay. I think we just discussed it so that you all would have the time. So I'm not sure if you all are contemplating any evidentiary motions.
We are.
Okay. How long do you think you need?
I see. I would say at least a week, Your Honor,
That's fine with
to be
the
able to
state.
follow them.
Okay. I want to give the state, whatever you file, I want to be able to, because we were going to handle it that time in May. But obviously, this case is a priority, so if y'all needed more time or a different date, I would make the time. So why don't y'all discuss it, and we can come back if you want, or you can just let me know.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
What do you want to do?
I will get. I can get back to the court today.
Sure, I'll speak with Ms. Medina. If they can get me their motions by next week, that should be sufficient time for me to get whatever witnesses I need and prepare. I mean, I have 3 different defendants and 3 different motions, so I would like time to make sure I'm prepared for all 3 defendants' motions with whatever necessary witnesses I need. But if she's asking for the end of next week, that should be fine.
Okay. All right. Well, let me know if something changes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Of course, of course.
So what's the next date, Mr. Hathaway?
Your Honor, the 13th for Mr. Fernandez is our hearing on motion date.
May 13th, yes.
Do you want to just go to that date? Is that fine?
We
Yes,
can
ma'am.
for Fernandez, and for Gardner, we can do we had a May 4th to be set, I believe.
Right.
Was
When I-
that,
When I receive her motion, maybe we could coordinate a date certain and email the court.
I'm okay with that.
are you still in trial with Judge Fine?
So that is, we're in talks right now, Your Honor, with the state.
Okay. Because I thought
Unfortunately, the judge has not set dates yet for arguing motions, but all that has been submitted. So we're just waiting for a date on that, and then I'm sure by that point the judge is going to want to know whether it's going to proceed on the 27th or not.
on the 27th. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and it's still a death case.
all right. So what do you want to do about, I don't want to conflict with his schedule. That is, myself and Judge Fine are teaching together. I do have that date. So we're teaching together on the 18th through the 22nd. So we'll both be out that week. And then I guess he's coming back to that trial on the 26th or 27th.
The 27th.
Ms. Medina.
So it would have to be, I guess, the week of, hold on. So the week of the 11th?
Right. Do you want me to call him?
Sure. That would be helpful, because we still don't have a status, like I said, a status date on that.
All right, court will be in recess. Yes.